Paul Templar was living an exceptional life. At 28, he conducted tours in his native Zimbabwe, specializing in photographic safaris. After spending a few years abroad, including a period in the British Army, he returned to Africa's bush country and was enamored with its beauty. The wildlife, the flora, the fauna, the vast expanses, it all felt right. The guide certification program in Zimbabwe was known for its rigor, and there was a palpable sense of pride among those who achieved it. Templar took great joy in introducing tourists to the region's magnificent wildlife. Life seemed perfect. Everything was going smoothly, until a harrowing encounter with a hippo irrevocably altered his world. On March 9, 1996, Templar found out that a close friend, scheduled to lead a canoe safari down the Zambezi River, had come down with malaria. Stepping up, Templar decided to lead in his friend's stead, given his familiarity with that particular stretch of the river. The journey comprised 6 safari enthusiasts, 3 apprentice guides, and Templar. Their fleet consisted of 3 canoes, with clients seated in the front and guides at the rear. One of the apprentice guides navigated in a solo safety kayak. Their journey down the renowned Zambezi was progressing well. The mood was light, and the group seemed to be thoroughly enjoying the experience. However, the serenity was disrupted when they encountered a group of about a dozen hippos. Such sightings weren't uncommon in the Zambezi, Africa's 4th longest river. Initially, there wasn't any panic since they maintained a safe distance. However, as they neared the creatures, Templar tried to guide the group around them, ensuring safety. Leading the formation, Templar maneuvered his canoe into a small channel, expecting the others to follow suit. But he noticed the 3rd canoe had strayed from the group, deviating from the intended path. Out of nowhere, there was a loud crash. The back of a canoe was seen being launched into the air, and Evans, the guide steering that canoe, was hurled into the water. Remarkably, the clients remained inside the canoe. Evans was now at the mercy of the rushing waters, swiftly being pulled toward a mother hippo and her calf situated about 490 feet away. Recognizing the imminent danger, Templar knew there wasn't a moment to waste. He shouted to Ben, another guide, instructing him to help the clients from the compromised canoe. Acting swiftly, Ben secured the clients on a rock situated in the river's midst, a location beyond the reach of hippos. Without hesitation, Templar steered his canoe towards Evans, aiming to reach him and haul him aboard. As he made his approach, he noticed an ominous bow wave charging in his direction. It reminded him of scenes from vintage films where a torpedo sped towards its target. It could either be a hippo or a massive crocodile, he thought. But from experience, he also knew the resounding sound created by slapping the water with his paddle could deter these creatures. Relying on this knowledge, he slapped the water, causing the menacing wave to halt. As Templar drew nearer to Evans, so did the looming threat of the mother hippo and her offspring. Evans reached out, their fingers almost interlocking. But suddenly, the water around them erupted in chaos. Everything then took a dark and eerie turn. A chilling silence enveloped Templar. For a moment, confusion reigned. Gradually, he recognized the grim reality. While the lower half of his body was submerged in the cold river, the upper half experienced a different sensation. Warmth, wetness but not the wetness of the river, and an immense pressure against his back. Movement was impossible. The chilling realization hit him. He was trapped inside a hippo's mouth. The chances of escaping such a predicament were slim to none. Fortune favored him momentarily, as the hippo, probably uncomfortable with the size of its catch, released him. Gasping for breath upon surfacing, he locked eyes with Evans. As Templar lunged to aid him, he was abruptly attacked from beneath and found himself once more inside the hippo's jaws. This instance differed, though. His legs were ensnared, but his hands were liberated. He struggled to retrieve his gun, but was flung around too violently to grasp it. It turned out that the assailant was an older, more hostile male hippo, which eventually released him again. Resurfacing, he searched for Evans but found no trace of him. Hoping Evans had been saved, Templar began his own desperate swim to safety. But as he paddled with all his might, a terrifying sight met his gaze. Charging directly at him was the very same hippo, jaws agape, ready to strike. Before he knew it, he was ensnared once more, this time sideways. With his legs protruding from one side of the beast's mouth and his upper body from the other, the hippo went on a rampage. For Templar, it felt like every event was unfolding in a prolonged, drawn-out manner. As the hippo would submerge, he would hold his breath, and upon surfacing, he would gasp for air, while simultaneously trying to grip the tusks that pierced into him, preventing himself from being torn to shreds. According to a terrified client who bore witness to this gruesome spectacle, it appeared as though a savage dog was aggressively attempting to shred a toy. The entire ordeal spanned roughly 3 to 4 minutes. Mac, the apprentice guide stationed in the safety kayak, navigated his boat dangerously close to Templar. Capitalizing on this brief window of opportunity, Templar clutched the kayak's handle, allowing Mac to haul him towards the safety of a rock. As they found a momentary refuge on the rock amidst the Zambezi, a distraught Templar inquired about Evans's whereabouts, to which Mac somberly replied, "He's gone, man. He's just gone." His body was in a dire state, especially his left foot, which bore the appearance of having been bludgeoned. His arms were immobilized, with one being particularly mangled. Blood oozed from his mouth, indicating a punctured lung. Mac, resourcefully, used saran wrap, typically used for food, to plug a massive wound in Templar's back. Recognizing the dangers of their situation, Templar decided to flee from the rock. Templar was in a canoe piloted by Ben during their escape attempt. The tenacious hippo nudged their canoe repeatedly. Templar's emotions fluctuated from sheer terror to an uncanny calm throughout the journey. He had a profound epiphany while weighing the options of succumbing or persevering. After deciding to fight on, the ensuing agony was excruciating, and he yearned for relief. While Templar and Ben managed to escape the river, Evans remained unaccounted for. Tragically, 3 days later, his body was discovered, showing no marks of animal aggression. It was surmised that he had tragically drowned. Bystanders on the riverbank, sensing something awry, had initiated a rescue. A proficient Zimbabwean rescue team subsequently managed to evacuate everyone from the precarious rock. While he had been extricated from the river's clutches, his ordeal was far from over. An agonizing 8-hour journey ensued to transport him to the closest medical facility. Over the subsequent month, he underwent multiple surgeries. Faced with the possibility of losing a leg and both arms, his prospects seemed bleak. His surgeon was equally pessimistic about his survival chances. However, in a miraculous turn of events, not only did the surgeon manage to save Templar's life, but he also preserved one of his legs and an arm. Regrettably, the other arm was irreparably damaged. Upon regaining consciousness in the ICU, he instinctively felt for his left hand, only to discover its absence. The realization was crushing. His life had always been one of action, and the gravity of the loss felt unbearable. Yet, a surge of gratitude washed over him as he recognized that his right arm and legs remained intact. The subsequent weeks were an emotional whirlwind. He underwent rigorous physical and occupational therapy sessions in Zimbabwe, and later continued his rehabilitation in the United Kingdom. After being fitted with a prosthesis, he was determined to rebuild his life. Remarkably, just 2 years post the harrowing ordeal, Templar, alongside his team, embarked on what was then the longest documented descent of the Zambezi River. This incredible journey spanned 3 months, covering a distance of 1,600 miles. So, what fueled Templar's astonishing comeback? He recalled a poignant conversation with his surgeon during a challenging day of adjusting to a wheelchair. "You're the sum of your choices," the surgeon remarked. "You are precisely the outcome of your decisions in life." Instead of dwelling on his losses, Templar shifted his perspective towards embracing possibilities. Focusing on potential rather than loss opens up a world of opportunities. Templar's journey eventually led him to the United States. He found love and married the sister of a journalist who had documented their monumental Zambezi expedition. And eventually he penned his experiences in the book titled, What's Left of Me. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your time and hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked what you saw, be sure to check out the other great content on our channel. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to bring you more. Thank you again, and see you in the next video.